Here we go. All right. And I'll be watching to admit people in as well. So for all of you joining today, and there's going to be some that are going to be joining us at a later time, possibly watching this video later. My name is Colleen Biggs, and I am an author, coach, peak performance consultant, as well as a pioneer for women, completely 1,000%. I run the LEAP community. I'm very proud to be a community leader. I'm married. I have 7 kids. We just had our 12th grandchild born on Friday at 8 a.m., little Parker Biggs. So very excited to have him in our world. And I have been an entrepreneur for over 4 years. And I've been a business consultant and coach for over 22 years, have launched over 340 businesses. So what I am very sound on is getting SBA loans. That's been my thing, right? I've helped so many owners get SBA loans and really be able to fund the traditional way. So when I met Tracy Terry, and she told me all about her and how she empowers business entrepreneurs to be able to become bankable CEOs, I said, oh my gosh, we need to do a workshop on this. There are so many women that do not know how to build up their business credit. And unfortunately, what they're doing is they're building their credit under their own social security numbers. I'm just muting everyone so we don't have any background noise. And so what happens is back in corporate America, I've learned this very well. It's called piercing the corporate veil. Okay. When you mix personal and business dollars, personal and business credit, it's a legal loophole. If anyone were to sue you, God forbid that would ever happen, but I think we're in a sue happy world these days. If anyone were to sue you, it's a legal loophole for them to be able to get to your personal assets, like your house, like all of those assets that you have, right? So this is why it's so important for us, because we're all big girls. We all own businesses. We have LLCs or S Corps or some entity set up. We all have a tax ID. And if you don't have any of these things, then yes, if you're watching this and you don't have these things, you should be contacting Colleen Biggs for this. And you should be reaching out to me at info@colleenbiggs.net, because these are basic things in business that you should have ready. So you need to have your EIN number, which is your tax ID number, your entity set up. Once you have these things, then you're set up to be able to get business credit under that business and not your personal. So I wanted to share some information that just happened to land in my inbox today. You guys are going to think this is crazy, but it just happened to land. Hey, Julie, it just happened to land in my inbox today. And I was like, this is the perfect information to share because so many women do not know these statistics. And these are 2021 statistics. The performance of women-owned businesses. The average annual revenue dropped in 2021 from 493,000 to 475,000. So women's revenue dropped in 2021. Their average profits of women-owned businesses fell to 88,000 from 119,000 in 2020. Average expenses increased from 373,000 to 386,000 in 2021. The average credit score for female business owners dropped from 588 to 580. That's not good, y'all. That's not good. Top industry of services represent 31.9% of women-owned companies in 2021 is services. Okay. Women to men borrowing ratio. This is what we're talking about right here. Women to men borrowing ratios. Females are 33%. Males are 67%. So males are borrowing at 67%, females only at 33%. That's why we're doing this today. The average annual revenue for women-owned businesses was 475. They earned 199,000 less on an average than male-owned firms. 200,000 less we're owning than male firms. Average credit scores, ours are 14% lower. Our average loan size is 41% lower. And the age of the average business is almost 4 years. This was also interesting that I read today. Almost 1/3, which is 31.9% of women-owned companies that applied for business loans during the past 12 months have been in services, retail, accommodations of food service, healthcare, transportation and warehousing, arts, entertainment, and recreation. So I got a little bit of information from the women versus the male for the PPP. Everyone knows what the PPP was, paycheck protection program that the government offered. So in December 2020, Congress appropriated $284 billion for small business COVID relief for a second round of the PPP. So in the data that was examined from the PPP loan applicants, they discovered that 49% of the applicants for PPP round 2 were women business owners, which is good. The average approved amount of round 2 applicants who identified as women business owners on the platform was $23,000 compared to $36,000 for those who identified as a male business owner. So that's important to know. And this last I wanted to share was there's nearly 13 million women-owned businesses in the US as of 2019. And from 2014 to 2019, the number of firms owned by women of color increased by 43%. Hell yeah. According to American Express's State of Women-Owned Business report, an estimated 10 million people are employed by women-owned companies, and they generate nearly 1.8 trillion in revenue, according to the Census Bureau. Some of those are really feel-good numbers, and then some of those are like, suck. We could be doing better, right? Mm-hmm. We could be doing better. So I just wanted to share those numbers with you guys, because I think it's important for us to know those numbers as female owners, because Tracy and I are here to empower women to be able to build their businesses on bankable credit, meaning for you to be able to get credit for your business, because sometimes we need to invest and you don't want to take your personal dollars and invest them into your business. This is a way for you to get credit through your business. So Tracy, I just met Tracy like 2 months ago. And you guys all know me. The minute I meet someone, I'm just like, oh girl, we got to do this. We got to create a workshop. Let me see how I can put this together. I want to invite as many women as I can that are in my community to get in here to learn, because the more that each one of us learn how to earn business credit, the more successful we're going to be able to be, because now we can get credit through our business to keep investing, and it doesn't have to be through personal. So take it away, Tracy. Tell them all about you and who you are and what your goodness is.
Okay, so my name is Tracy Terry. I am the CEO and founder of Bankable CEO, and that's a business entity in Los Angeles. And I help to empower entrepreneurs and speakers to build business credit. And so when I first started out, I had a side hustle, and I had it as a DBA. And so I was using my personal credit to fund my business, and that decreased my personal credit score, and it created a lot of inquiries. And so with me, I felt like I had a scarlet letter on my forehead that read bad credit. And so I was always fearful of applying for anything because I had bad credit. In 2008, I decided to build my business entity. And having a business entity is expensive, but I also saw the good sides of having a business entity, because a lot of items I could take as a tax deduction at the end of the year. And so once I built my business entity, I found out that I needed to have proper foundational guidelines done before I actually started my business entity. So you need to have your proper business address. A lot of people were using the mailbox, etc. You need to have your proper business telephone number. You should not use your personal cell phone number as your main business entity, because if you do, the banks and the business creditors, they have a system. They don't tell us about it, but they have a system that will let them know that you are using an improper address and an improper telephone number. And your business telephone number should be listed in 411. And so you cannot list your cell phone number in 411. So before you actually file your paperwork for your business entity, you need to make sure that you have the proper business address. You can use a virtual office, you can use your home address, you can use a brick and mortar address. And for your business telephone number, you can use a business cell phone number that's in the name of the business, and everything associated with that cell phone number will be tax deductible. Or you can have a virtual business telephone number, and you can forward that to your personal cell phone number. And then that way you can have your, you can use your personal cell phone number and be mobile. But you must make sure that your virtual cell phone number is listed in 411, because a lot of the business credit companies, they don't require a lot to give you business credit, but they will check to make sure that you are listed in 411. So when I went to open up my business bank account, I didn't know, but when you open up your business bank account, they run your personal credit and they don't tell you. And the banker that I had, he asked me, he was like, do you want a business line of credit? Do you want a business credit card? And I was like, no, because I don't want you to run my personal credit. And he told me, I'm going to run it anyway, because I have to make sure that you're not in check systems. And I just need to make sure. And he told me, he said, if I run your credit, you can get a business credit card. You can get a business line of credit, but you're going to do a personal guarantee. And you can get 3 items with just 1 inquiry. So I did. I refused to get the business credit card because I was like, I don't want to do a personal guarantee, because I remember what it takes to get business credit. Well, bad personal credit. And I no longer wanted to have bad personal credit, because I had increased my credit score into the 700s, and it had never been like that. So one of the things that you need to, before you start to file for your business entity, is to make sure your paperwork has the proper type of business address, the proper type of business telephone number, and make sure that all documentation that you use, as far as the internet, you are using the same address, the same telephone number, because everything will connect. And once you have your business entity paperwork, if you should move, you always want to update it so that it will reflect where your business truly is, your current address, your current telephone number. And once you have your business entity set and you have your EIN number, that's your social security number for your business. And when you start applying for business credit, you no longer want to use your personal social security number, because that's how they get you. You can do the personal guarantee or the non-personal guarantee, and you get the non-personal guarantee, but not by not using your personal social security number. You use your EIN number. A lot of the banks and the business creditors, they will want you to put your social security number down. And we're so used to putting our social security number down that, it's habit, just put it down, and then you can get a personal guarantee. So with me, I started where I didn't know much, but I did my research because I didn't want to go back to having bad credit. And so I started out small, and I used my EIN number. And the first credit card that I got, they wanted to know how long I had been in business. They wanted to make sure that I had the proper email address, the proper address, and the proper telephone number. And that credit card was $16,000, because some of the business debtors, they will call your telephone number, your business telephone number, just to make sure that it's the proper business telephone number. They call 411, and then they called me, and I was like, hello? And they were like, oh, okay, that's your business telephone number. And they told me, hold on 1 minute, and I was approved. So I was like, okay, let me go continue to grow my business credit. And you can also, once you're credible and you have several business accounts, you can start to get business loans without a personal guarantee. Some banks may ask you to still put your social security number down, but they want to make sure that you are a person and they can connect that to you. So some of the things that the banks don't want us to know, and it's their little secret. First of all, when you apply for a business loan or even a business line of credit, they don't have to tell you why they're rejecting you. They will just tell you, I'm sorry, you didn't get it this time. Come back in 6 months. And during this 6 months time period, they will stay in touch with you and nurture you, because they don't want you to go to another bank. They want to keep you with them. And once you are able to get your business loan or to get business credit, the business credit bureaus, which are Dun & Bradstreet, Experian, and Equifax, they are looking to make sure that you're paying your bills on time. They are not concerned about you having a high utilization. As a matter of fact, the business creditors, they prefer that you have high utilization, because by you having high utilization, that lets them know that you're in need of their services. And actually, many times they will increase your credit limit to help to accommodate your needs.
Tracy,
And
quick question. You said Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax, and what was the other one?
it's Experian.
Experian.
And that's
okay.
separate from the personal Experian.
Right. And so will you do me a favor and just tell them a little bit about Dun & Bradstreet real quick? Because I don't know if everyone knows about that one.
Okay, so Dun & Bradstreet it's one of the bureaus that a lot of business creditors look towards. And this is one where they want to make sure that you're paying your bills on time, and where you can, as a business owner, you can actually go in and update all your addresses. So if you move, you can go into Dun & Bradstreet and you can update that business address, but you also want to keep your old address on your Dun & Bradstreet, because when some businesses look you up on the internet, they want to make sure that there's only one path leading to your business, because they don't want to see Bankable CEO at 1234 and Bankable CEO at Main Street, because they don't know, well, is this the same person? Is it two different companies? So you want to make sure that you have everything connected in one place that's associated with your business. And Dun & Bradstreet, to get your Dun & Bradstreet number is free. However, with Dun & Bradstreet, it's a business for them. So they will always try to sell you something. So you can call them and you can tell them that you want to get your Dun & Bradstreet number, and you can tell them, I'll call back later to, get some of your services or not. And many times you may have business credit already started on your business profiles, but you don't know, because you may purchase something and that particular company will report it to one of the 3 credit bureaus. And then there are a lot of companies that don't report to the business credit bureaus. And so that's one of the things that you want to do your research with when you're applying for these business credit cards or these different accounts, to know if in fact they will be reporting to the credit bureaus. And then there's ways that you can actually, if they're not reporting, you can have it to self-report, but that's a fee and you have to deal with other companies. And sometimes it's a good thing when companies don't report to the business credit. You can still use them as a reference when you go to get a business loan. Because when you go to get a business loan, if you have your business credit built, you can use those credit card companies as references to help you get your business loans or your business lines of credit. And many business owners may not know you can have thousands, even hundreds, even millions of dollars worth of business credit, so that you no longer need to even apply for a business loan.
Tracy, could we maybe talk about some of the first steps that they would take after, now we're talking about setting up everything. So you're talking about applying for business lines of credit. Are they doing this through a typical bank? Are they supposed to be doing this through like just getting a gas card, an office card, a Costco card? What are you suggesting that they start with to start building this business line of credit?
I would start with some office cards, like everyone needs supplies, and also get gas cards, because the gas cards, we're going to use them no matter what. Everyone has to buy gas. So some of the accounts are like vendor accounts. So they may be net 30, net 15, and basically you'll get the card, you can make purchases, and you have to pay the full amount in the net 30 or the net 15 days. And then if you pay it early, so if you buy supplies, you know how much you owe. You can turn around and even before you get your invoice, you can pay that bill off, because the business creditors, they like for you to pay early. And when it comes to Dun & Bradstreet, if you're paying early, then you will get a higher score. So the baseline really is a paydex score of 80, and that lets everyone know that you're paying your bills on time. If you're paying early, you can get a 90 or 100. And so you always want to make sure that you pay your bills on time. And Uber card. I was wondering if a business Uber card would work. You can have a business Uber card. I'm not sure if it's reporting, but anything that's in your business name where you're not using your social security number is always best, because you, as Colleen mentioned, you always want to keep that corporate veil solid and up. So as many of us may or may not know, that normally within the first 5 years, about 90% of businesses fail. And one of the top reasons that they fail is because of financing. And you can think of having business credit as a means of using other people's money. So you can charge stuff on your credit card, and then you can use the revenue that you have coming in from your clients to pay off your business credit card. And by paying off your business credit card, you're creating payment experiences with the different business credit bureaus, and by doing that, that's showing that your business is credible. And you will find out that, for example, I like the Shell gas card. I use nothing but Shell, but I have Chevron reaching out to me to get me to use their business credit card, because anyone can look up your business can look at your business report. So if I have a competitor and I want to know what they're doing or what they're not doing, I can look up their business credit to see, what cards do they have? Where are they buying their supplies? So it's not like having your personal credit reports where you have to have permission from that individual to look at the reports. In business, anybody can look at your business reports. And that's a good thing, and it's a bad thing. It's a good thing because you can always spy on your competitors, and you can also find out what you need to do in order to be like your competitor or someone else that you know.
What about lines of credit? So we've talked about credit cards, and they seem to be the easier ones to get. Now, for those of you that don't have a business credit card, we're going to highly recommend that you go get one. So I know Costco has a really good business credit card that you can get. You can use it for gas and supplies. There's, like she said, the Shell gas card, any like Office Max or Staples, those types of companies for business. So whether you need it or not, here's the other thing. That's, I think, is important that we haven't touched on. But you're like, well, I have enough money to pay for my supplies. I don't need a credit card. The goal is to build your business credit so that you have it available when you need it. You don't need it in the good times. You need it in the bad times. So this is why I'm saying, even though you don't think you want it, you're like, but I don't want to go get a credit card, Colleen. I don't want to get any debt. Just charge something you would have paid cash for and then pay it off. And then just pay it. That's what builds your business credit. So we've talked about the credit cards, how easy it is to get it, why you need it, whether you have them or not. I'd like you to start acquiring a couple business credit cards, using them and paying them off with the money that you have, so you're not acquiring any more debt. What are the best ways? And this is where it gets a little sticky, because so many banks out there, they're very stringent about what you have to apply for credit as a business and become bankable. So what are the next steps? Is this like a major chain bank, like a JP Morgan Chase? Is this, other ways that we can apply for lines of credit that aren't credit cards, like actually getting, a loan through a bank?
Yeah, so there are the top 5 banks that out there that will give you business credit, and they require a lot more paperwork. But if you start out with your net 20s and your net 30 accounts, and you move your way up, and you have a lot of accounts open, and I would say that when you open up your accounts and your business credit cards, I wouldn't pay them off all the way, because you want to have that payment experience. So if you charge $100, maybe pay off half of it, and then pay off the other half the following week. And by you having those open credit cards, those are used as reference. So when you go to the JP Morgan to apply for a business loan or a line of credit, you have references, is those credit card companies, that shows the bank that you're responsible. You will more than likely still have to fill out the paperwork, but there are some banks where if you have enough business credit, showing that your business is credible and worthy, where you don't have to do a personal guarantee. They may still require your social security number just to make sure that this business belongs to Tracy, and this is Tracy's social security number, and they will still give you business loans and even business lines of credit without a personal guarantee. You just need to do your research and to make sure that you have a lot of accounts, or if you don't have a lot of accounts, that you're using your accounts consistently. Because even though the business creditors will give you more money, they will also take it away if they see that you are not using the credit limit that they've given
She's
you.
right. They can recall it at any time. Do you
Yes.
guys remember Profit First with Mike McAllowicks? And he was telling the story of his friend that had $1 million line of credit, and the bank called it back like that.
Yes.
Oh, in 30 days, you owe us all back all of our money. Yeah. So be very careful of reading the fine, writing if you're applying for a loan like that or a line of credit. I know SBAs are a good place to get loans as well. They're very good places to get loans. Now, if you were looking for a larger loan, this would be because you were taking your business to a brick and mortar, right? And you needed supplies, or you are baking pies and then now you need to, get manufacturing, and you need to be able to get employees, and you need to be able to have a warehouse. I'm being serious because, Sharon, with you being an artist, it's very possible it could get to the point where you need, something larger where you have to put $150,000 down, $200,000 down to invest in something that's going to give you the return that you need, right? That would be going to the Small Business Administration and applying. It's usually prime plus 3% is generally what their loans are. And they can be anywhere from, they're usually 10 years is what the loan is. So be aware that there are SBA loans, and I think they even increased some of them to 20 and 30 years over the past several years with COVID, So be aware that there are availability out there for you to get larger loans. But what we're talking about today is for you to start getting bankable credit. So credit for your business. If you have zero and you've not even taken the first steps, today you're learning how to take those first steps to set everything up correctly and start applying for some of those business credit cards. I have some that I don't even really use. I mean, I probably should be using them more to keep building my credit, but I just went on this little tangent one day and decided I'm going to apply with my business for all of these cards to figure out what I can get and who would approve me where. And it has helped me get additional lines of credit because I started doing that. So I've already experienced it myself. Tracy's experienced it herself as well.
And there are some businesses out there, for example, doctors and attorneys, where they have equipment. You can actually get money against the equipment. And there's special loans or lines of credit that will help you purchase equipment. So you don't always necessarily need cash money to purchase stuff. There's always something out there that can help you, or if you have equipment or something that you may not think is valuable, it can be very valuable. You just need to do your research. And so one of the things that once you have your business entity, you also want to look online to see if you have any business credit already established, because sometimes you may have business credit established, but you're not using it. And because it's not being used, it's sort of a double-edged sword. It's sort of a negative towards your business if someone goes to look you up. So if you go to apply for a loan and they see, oh, well, you're not really using, you're not really credible, you're not using finances, and they're going to want to know, well, what are you doing? And it's like, well, I'm funding my business with my personal credit. And so we need to, number one, in a sense, forget what we know about credit when it comes to business credit. Because with business credit, you can use it to the max, and the creditors will give you more money. Normally, when you first get your business credit cards, you get a cash advance, and you don't have to pay. Sometimes you don't have to pay the interest for a year to 18 months. And sometimes they will waive the fees of paying off other credit cards. So I had a client that he thought he needed to file bankruptcy. He owed less than $15,000. I was able to get him $50,000 in business credit in 30 days. And what he did was he used his line of credit, the cash advance, to pay off his personal credit. That increased his personal credit score, and that allowed his business to start making payments and creating payment experiences for his business and increase his credit worthiness as for his business. And also, I want to let you guys know that you can have bad personal credit and have excellent business credit. And the reason for that is because, once again, we're not using our social security number. You're using your EIN number. So that's a great advantage for business credit. And by having a business entity, at the end of the year, when it's tax season, you get a lot of write-offs. So if you're a business owner and you're using a DBA, you still get write-offs, but you're also commingling the funds, and you don't get all the write-offs that you do with a business that has business credit and you have a business entity. So for example, I have a business cell phone number. That's 100% write-off. 100, and I have a personal. So I pay my personal, but the business cell phone is 100% write-off. Everything associated with my business is tax deductible at the end of the year. All the fees, everything, the interest, I get to write that off at the end of the year when I do my business taxes. Now, for some cities like Los Angeles, just to do business with a business entity, whether you make money or not, you have to pay the state $800. It's expensive, however, it's tax deductible. So that's a good thing. Any
Thanks,
questions?
Tracy. Yeah, so I want to, I just put in the chat, you guys all know that I am affiliated with Hey Taxi and the Hey Taxi community, Don Cermak and Jill Nur. They not only talk about taxes, but they have other master classes as well. We're not going to talk about taxes today. That's not on the table of what you can write off. That's something that I would love for you guys to go to some of their master classes, because they're amazing and they have a lot to share about building a business and what you can write off for your taxes. But for today, what I would like you to do is ask questions to Tracy or myself about anything so far that we have covered about how to become a bankable CEO in your business. Yes, Jackie.
Can you clarify the address? You said a proper address, but I have a home-based business. So what do I use?
You can use your home-based business, and just know that I know, like in Los Angeles, they go around and they take pictures of your home when you're using your home base. So they take pictures of your home so that when someone's looking for your business, they may show your home. So you can start out as using your home, and then if you choose, as you grow, you can get a brick and mortar address, or you can also get a virtual address. So there's some offices out there where you may pay a monthly amount or a yearly amount, where you can actually go into that particular building. And if you need to use an office, you can use the office.
Yeah.
Can I mention, just from an SEO perspective, I'd actually just dropped my remote mailbox because it put a picture of Steinmart on my Google My Business, and I didn't want people to make it look like I was working out of Steinmart. So I would be careful about where the business is, where the mailbox is. Make sure that you know what the physical business looks like, where it is, so it doesn't look like a Steinmart. Mine got moved from a co-share office, and I didn't know that's where it was going, but.
Okay, so you don't really want to use a post office box. You can use a post office box or a mailing center as your second address. So when I talk about the virtual offices, they're literally an office building, and they charge you a fee where you, depending on what you want to use, you can actually go in and you can go into a conference room and meet clients. You can actually have an operator to answer the telephone for you.
Yeah, they're
Or
like
with
co-working spaces. Yeah,
Right.
that's exactly
Yeah,
what
shared
you're talking
space.
about. Yeah.
Right.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Welcome,
I was
Jackie.
curious, Tracy, you mentioned emails in the list that you were saying. Do you know if these creditors care if your email address is a professional email address or not?
They want you to have a professional email address. And they also want you to have a website, even if it's just a landing page that just has information about your business. There are some creditors that will look your business up to see that you have a website. Make sure that you're using a professional email address and that your telephone number is the correct format and that is listed in 411. And it's free to list your business telephone number in 411.
So when we talk about professional email addresses, if I were to use my ColleenJaneBiggs@gmail.com, that's not my professional email address. Okay.
Right.
What is a professional email address would be Colleen@ColleenBiggs.net. That is my website. That is my email tied to my website. That's a professional. I had Colleen at, B@leadupforwomen.com. So whatever your company name is, that would be what would be on the backside after the @ That is a professional, what Lori is talking about. And Lori builds websites and does SEO though. So yeah, definitely websites. You want to have a website.
And Google Workspace is $6 a month.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's what I
$6 a
use.
month.
Yeah.
Everyone should have a professional email address.
Yes. Everyone should for a business. So if you don't have that, then that's the number one thing that you should get out of this workshop and go do immediately. Is you want to make sure that you go and get yourself a professional email address, that you have a professional address, that you're not using your cell phone, right? And that you have an EIN number, which is your tax ID number. That means that you filed for an entity. These are not very expensive things to do. It's like $100 and some to file for an entity, not expensive. You just need to make sure you're taking these steps. And then when you apply for credit through your EIN number. You're applying for something that they say is business, but they only ask you to enter your social security number. That is personal. That is personal. It will say to you, why do I have to enter my social security number if this is for my business? They'll explain that they want to make sure that you're attached to your business and you still have to enter your EIN number below. So make sure you're very clear when you're filling out anything online that you're applying for business credit, and check your credit. You can go to, I put Duns and Bradstreet. The links are all in here. Mary put some additional links in here for how to get some microcredit loans. And I don't know if you guys know this, but the SB, where did she put it? The small business development centers, they're around the entire United States. Small business development centers are an extension of the SBA.gov. And what they do is they provide you with information on how you can get these loans and some of these additional resources for your business. They're free, y'all, free. Doesn't get any better than that.
I have a quick question. My name is Yadi. I have all of that. So I have a business number, email address, and an EIN. But I have no credit, like it's non-existent, personal credit. So do you have any advice for someone that's starting off? Should I start like personal credit building or just go straight to business credit?
I would say you should do both because
Okay.
you should always have a backup plan. And
Mhm.
so it's, if you have no personal credit, it's a bad thing,
Mhm.
but it's also a good thing. But in the financial world, it's a bad thing. So, I mean, with the business credit, because you're not using your social security number, you can start with the business credit, building it by using your EIN number. But I
Okay.
would say you also want to have at least one personal credit card, just in case you need a personal emergency or something.
Got it. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions that we have today? We might just
Hello,
wrap up. Yeah, go ahead.
I had a quick question. So I'm wondering how, I think you mentioned it briefly. I just wanted to make sure, how do you know when certain things will be reporting once you get a business card? 'Cause I know you all mentioned a few things like Costco and Staples, but I don't, everything for me is like I don't use any supplies, I guess only like computers and stuff like that. But I wasn't sure if there was like other things like social media pages or PayPal or other cards you can think of.
Well, the way that you will know if your stuff is reporting on your business credit profiles is by checking with the different bureaus like Dun and Bradstreet, Experian, and there is you can go to nav.com and they have a free account where it will let you know when something is hitting your I think it's your Experian business credit report, and it may also be Dun and Bradstreet. And they also have some paid accounts. And if you're using the paid account, then every time you make that payment, that's a credit experience, and it's being reported to one or two of the business credit bureaus. And so that's a fast way to jumpstart your business credit, because this allows you to know your credit score and to actually look at certain business reports for your credit. And it also will attach your personal credit, so you can see your personal credit. But it's sort of like Credit Karma is not going to do a inquiry on your credit. It just lets you know, hey, someone pulled your credit, or you have a negative item on your credit, but it won't give you the full details. It'll just give you a basic overall summary. And so with NAV, they have the free account, they have a builder account, and I think it starts at like $39.99 or $49.99. So if you got one of those two, then you can also switch it off. You can do the builder account for a couple of months and get that to report to two of your business credit bureaus, and then pay for the other account and get that to report to two other credit bureaus. And so that helps.
Yeah, it also, I've never been on nav.com. That's my first time. I went and looked at it. It also supplies you with places to apply for business credit, places to get business credit cards. So it's a great navigation for that, as well as you can sign up for an account so you can see what's happening. And I'm signed up with Dun and Bradstreet, and I can see my credit score through there. I can see how bankable I am based on the credit that I've already achieved. So Dun and Bradstreet's another place that you can log into your account, go to your dashboard on the left, and you can see all of that information. So this has been really helpful. Do you guys think this was really helpful today? Totally, right? Yeah, so much information. So just start with the basics, y'all. And then Tracy, will you go ahead and put your links in? Because I know you have to go for your download of the
Okay.
steps. So she has all the steps, download, and then your contact information. So there's her checklist, you guys. That's the checklist we talked about today, and her email address. So if you guys have any additional questions, please reach out to Tracy Terry. If you don't have any of the basic stuff done, feel free to reach out to me. I'll work with you on that.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, good luck to you, Tracy. I know you have to
Okay.
hop over
Thank
and go
you.
speak at another event. So thank you for joining us today. This was
Okay.
wonderful.
It was nice
Appreciate
meeting all of you guys and sharing my information with you guys. And so I hope to hear from you. Even if you just have questions, reach out to me and I can help you as much as possible.
Thank you,
Okay.
Tracy. We appreciate you. And I want to make sure all of you have the opportunity to save the chat. So if there was a link in here that I put that you didn't grab already, please go grab that. You can save the chat by clicking on the 3 dots and then, just click save chat. That will work as well. So no big deal. We can do that.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. See you, Tracy. Any
Okay.
other questions that you guys have from today's call? That was really good. She has a lot of great information.
Colleen, I probably need to talk to you about some of this. How does that work with being a sole proprietor? Is this all for LLCs?
No, it's not.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not just for like LLCs. It's for any entity. So have you talked with your CPA about that, Sharon? Yeah, I want you to have that conversation first. So I want you to reach out to a CPA that works with business owners and ask them about that.
Okay.
Yep. And I think that's a good first step because they might actually advise you differently. But I don't give tax advice. I don't. That's why I have a great CPA.
Right.
Yep. All right, ladies. Well, if you already snagged the chat, then you've got what you need. And if you haven't set up some of these accounts, I'm definitely setting one up on nav.com. I didn't know anything about that one. So I'm jumping over there to set that up and several other accounts. Jay Reed, did you want to say something since you're unmuted?
I just was going to say Nav was amazing information. I can't wait to check it out. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you haven't registered yourself, so I have a business phone. I literally bought an Apple phone. I don't even use Apple. I bought it because of Clubhouse, but I have an Apple phone that sits here on my desk and it's got a phone number associated to it. And it's my business phone. I don't really do anything with it. It just sits here, so make sure you have a phone number. It could be Google Voice, which is what I use for Lead Up for Women for a long time. And then you can have it actually forward to your phone. So Google Voice will go straight to your phone and dial through just like any other, phone number will. So if you haven't gotten those, definitely start with that. You should go on and do a Google Voice immediately, get it set up, and get yourself registered on 411. And then check out this nav.com. Really love that. Super cool. And then apply for your first credit card if you haven't already. See what you can do and see what happens and start building. But you have to go to Dun & Bradstreet and get your cage number. So you want to set that up as well. And then you guys saw Mary put some really great information on there for the Small Business Development Center. So click on that link as well and go find out what else they offer for microloans and all kinds of other awesome things. Sound good? All right,
giving us
ladies.
a lot to think about. Thank you, Colleen.
We'll get some money.
That's right.
Woo! All right, ladies. Thanks for joining us today. I appreciate you all being here. We'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.